specials that you can start ordering now. Andrew's first today's special is one of his best-selling, highest potency blends, Maximum Essential Omega-3 for heart, brain, and eye support. Andrew's Omega-3 oils have no contaminants, no mercury, no fishy aftertaste, and no stomach upset. Andrew's second today's special is Vitamin K2 MK7, essential for bone, heart, and cardiovascular health. So here's Andrew with a special message to tell you more about these incredible offers.
Hi there, Andrew Lessman here, with an early opportunity to see our Today Special for this evening at midnight. It's our Omega-3, which is one of our most popular products, especially because it is now recognized the role that Omega-3s play not just in heart health and cardiovascular health, which has been recognized for decades, but we now know the critical and indispensable role that Omega-3 fats play in the health of our eyes, the macular region of our retina. The highest concentration of omega-3s in the entire human body is found in the retina of our eyes. And the second highest concentration of omega-3s in the entire human body are found in the brain, where approximately 2/3 of the dry weight of the brain, 2/3, are omega-3 fatty acids. And that omega-3 fatty acid that makes up the bulk of our brain, it makes up the bulk of the retina of our eyes. It's DHA. And unlike the typical omega-3 product that you'll see in a store, we focus on DHA. The typical industrially manufactured omega-3s that you'll find in stores focus on EPA. Yes, it's an important omega-3, but DHA is the most important omega-3. DHA is the omega-3 that your body can produce EPA out of if it needs that EPA. It cannot do that readily from EPA. So DHA is really the quintessential omega-3 fatty acid that we focus on. It represents the majority of our product. And this year's Today Special is, of course, our best value of the year by far. It's also the best value on this product ever by far. The capsule is as small as it's ever been, so our capsule is just a bit more than half the size of the typical omega-3 product you see in stores. And even though it's just over half the size, it delivers 50% more of the omega-3s that you want. So it's truly the most exceptional value of the year, unlike any product you're going to find in stores. Moreover, of course, with all of our products and all of our raw materials, we test those products to make sure they're delivering everything that you want to be getting out of an omega-3 product. And our omega-3 products, when we did the testing, our omega-3s, because the omega-3 fats that we use are such exceptionally high quality, they're even higher quality than we anticipated. So each capsule is going to deliver about 30% more omega-3s than we even state on the label. So it was a pleasant surprise when we tested the oils and we tested our finished product, but it's just another example of the way we go about making our products that is entirely different from the way others produce their products. Most importantly, we consider not just how this product will affect you in terms of your benefiting from the critical omega-3 fatty acids that we do not get sufficient amounts in the American diet. And we'll talk about the consequences for brain health and cardiovascular health in a moment. But it's very, very important to remember that a product is more than the ingredients it contains. It's an experience. And every time you swallow a capsule, that's going to yield an experience. Unfortunately, with most omega-3 products, that experience is an upset stomach, nausea, a fishy aftertaste, or any long list of experiences you can find by just reading the reviews on this product. And when you read the reviews on this product, the reason why you'll see those things expressed is because those are the reasons why people hated or were disgusted by their omega-3 products in the past. But that's why this product is so different, that we didn't just consider the benefits of the product and make it numerically and biochemically the finest omega-3 product in the world, but we considered your experience, because without considering your experience, it is not going to be an exceptional product. It might contain the benefits, but if the experience isn't going to be a good experience, you will not use the product and you will never experience its benefits. So we long ago realized, that's because I've been making an omega-3 product for well over 30 years, I realized long ago that the benefits to consuming omega-3s are almost as bad as the experience of consuming them. So we had to go about figuring out not only how did we improve the levels of DHA and how do we make it more concentrated so you get a small capsule that delivers more, but when we solved those problems, at the same time, we were using a quality of ingredient that was solving the other problems, solving the stomach upset, solving the nausea, the fishy aftertaste. So we were able to create a product that was not just superior quality in terms of delivering the benefits you seek from the omega-3 fatty acids we need, but also eliminated all of the awful experiences, all of the problems that omega-3s typically deliver. And sadly, if you went around to supermarkets and discount stores and you looked at 99% of the products out there, they're still going to deliver those unpleasant experiences. And in most cases, not in most, in virtually all cases, they're focused on EPA, not DHA. DHA is the most important in the omega-3s, as I said a moment ago. 2/3 of your brain, DHA. Even as high as that concentration might be, the concentration of DHA in the macular region of your eye, the critical part of your retina that provides the central core of our vision, that is the highest concentration of DHA in the entire human body. So these fatty acids, these essential omega-3 fatty acids that are not part of the American diet, unfortunately, because we don't eat an abundance of cold water fish, they are determinative. They are absolutely structurally critical, structural imperatives for the health of our brain, for the health of our eyes. There are experts and physicians that talk about the fact that our brain health, whether it be the aging brain or simply the brain that dictates our behavior throughout our life, that it's suffering from the imbalance of fats that we consume. That the balance of essential fats, omega-6 and omega-3, should ideally be about 1-to-1. In the American diet, it's about 20-to-1, meaning that we're consuming 20 times more omega-6 than omega-3. There's two ways to fix that. Consume more omega-3 and consume less omega-6. What we're talking about here is the opportunity to consume more omega-3 in a way that is ideally balanced for the benefits of your body, and with a product that's perfectly put together to make sure that your experience with the product is just as good as the quality of the ingredients within the product. And you, as much as I could talk about the science, and I will talk about the science throughout the day, the most important thing that you can rely on beyond what I say about this product that we actually formulate and fabricate, we make it, is the fact that you have the benefit of thousands upon thousands of reviews. And typically, with a product like an omega-3, I would think in the past, if that product could have fairly decent reviews, averaging 3 stars or so, that would have to be an exceptional omega-3 product, because most people don't like an omega-3 product. It's sort of this unpleasant thing we have to do, or we're told we need to do by our doctor or cardiologist, whoever it might be. But if you read the reviews on this product, they're literally nothing short practically of perfect. That if you read the reviews on this product, you're at almost 90%, I think 85% of the reviews are 5-star reviews. You add in 4-star reviews, you're well over 90%. So it's almost a unanimously, perfectly reviewed product, which I think more than my speaking about the science and my speaking about how we go about making it differently to ensure that all the benefits from the science, which is what underlies the doctors recommending it to us. The reason why these are recommended, because frankly, doctors are generally not recommending dietary supplements. Unfortunately, most doctors' visits ends with our leaving with several prescriptions. So it's unusual when a doctor recommends a nutritional supplement like a multivitamin or like an omega-3, which is just an extension of a multivitamin because our body can't make omega-3s. And typically, when we talk about vitamins, we're talking about nutrients that we need in small amounts that then play a role in facilitating things in our body. Omega-3s are, in a funny way, even more essential than a vitamin because they're not facilitating things in our body alone. Yes, they do facilitate things, but their absolute structure, as I said before, 2/3 of the dry weight of our brain, DHA. the principal omega-3 in our product, not the principal omega-3 in 99% of omega products, but the principal omega-3 in ours, because ours is not based upon what the industry of industrial manufacturers dictates or determines. Ours is based upon what science and what clinical science about the requirements of our body has determined, and also looking at the food supply. Looking at fish. If you look at fish, the principal omega-3 is DHA. If you look at the industrial omega-3s made from fish, the principal omega-3 becomes EPA. We focus on the DHA because we're focusing on your benefits. I take this product, my parents take this product. This is the same exact product we take, the same exact product that you'll be taking. It delivers the omega-3s in the fashion you want. And many of us are more environmentally oriented. And I've received some interesting emails and correspondence criticizing me for the omega-3s we make because obviously that's interfering with the fish in the oceans. But that might be the case for other omega-3 products. But our omega-3 products, the omega-3 fish oils that we use, are all independently certified as being environmentally responsibly harvested. So we make sure that even when we make our omega-3s, it costs more to do this, that we're not doing something that's disruptive to the environment. Because when we go through our omega-3s today, they're very affordable. They're less than half their normal price today. We're going to go through millions upon millions of capsules. That could have an impact on fisheries, on the fish out there, if they're not being responsibly harvested, which unfortunately, sadly, most omega-3s, the products, the companies, don't give it a second thought. First of all, the products are made by contract manufacturers. They're not made by the company that's selling them. When you see things on a store's shelf with that store's label on it, it's made by some contract manufacturer. They simply buy the omega-3s from wherever. And they're not going to be thinking about that independent certification of purity, that independent certification that there aren't any heavy metals or any contamination, or that it was environmentally harvested. We consider all these things. In fact, the energy that's required to manufacture this product, which is an exceptionally large amount of energy, ours is also responsibly produced because we use solar energy here in Henderson, Nevada. So everything about this product, from just the going through the biochemistry of the numbers and how we put it together, is responsibly done. To then thinking in terms of how does that responsibly made chemistry, how does that behave in your body? How is that going to be in terms of an experience for you? There's no health benefit that's worth swallowing a capsule that's going to be unpleasant, difficult to swallow, interfering with digestion, causing nausea, and all sorts of issues that we read about with omega-3 products. So as critical and as important as they are for our good health, there's no reason to make an omega-3 product that isn't going to be a pleasant experience. I've joked that because of all of the bad experiences people have had with their omega-3 products, our reviews read like love letters. And when I come there, and we talk about these tomorrow, and we're recording this in advance, you'll look at some of the reviews, and in those thousands of reviews, you'll probably see words like miracle, love, just things that are just superlatives about this product, use hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of times in the reviews. And I think, as I say, as much as I could talk about the science, and I'll be reading all of the charts and all of the science, the most important thing, again, is the experience. We put together a product that delivers what you need, but it doesn't deliver the experiences you don't want, which are the kinds of problems that have made omega-3s among the most hated of dietary supplements. So for me, it ends up becoming a task where I have to speak till I'm sort of blue in the face, as blue as this shirt, to convince everyone that omega-3s aren't all horrible, that omega-3s can be made in a way that respects your body and respects your experience. And that also respects your pocketbook. Because as much as I'll be talking about how unique these are, how pure these are, how we assay them, how you're getting over 30% of the label potency, more than we anticipated with this product, how you're getting all of these exceptional benefits, it's an incredibly affordable product. It's about half the size of a typical capsule, and it's delivering about 50% more than a typical capsule, and you'll have no issues, no difficulty swallowing them, no stomach upset. It will be the most pleasant experience you've ever had with any vitamin, let alone an omega-3 supplement. So we'll be on at midnight, and we'll be on again at noon. We'll be on in the afternoon, and we'll be on in the evening. So only after this evening, only 2 shows during the day. So it's just relatively brief, but an opportunity to get the most exceptional omega-3 supplement, whether it's your ophthalmologist or your optometrist or cardiologist. You can be proud of this product and show it to them. As we'll see from the reviews that I read, that many folks speak about in the reviews, how impressed their doctors were when they got their hands on this product. So I'll see you at midnight. I'll go through all the science. We'll go through the reviews. We'll also have opportunities to answer any of your questions. So I look forward to seeing you later, and I hope you take advantage of this exceptional once-a-year opportunity. And one more thing, I feel like, what is it, Peter Falk when he played Columbo? There was one thing I omitted because we added another Today Special, a second Today Special, and it's our vitamin K2 MK7. I'll be spending some time talking about that throughout the day. For all of us who supplement calcium, supplement vitamin D, or even if we simply rely on the calcium that's part of our diet, calcium plays an essential structural role in our bones. It also can contribute to calcification of tissues we don't want to calcify, like arteries and blood vessels in our body. Vitamin K2 MK7 is really the sort of the traffic cop that determines and makes sure that calcium goes where it's supposed to go because of how it affects the bones in our body and other systems in our body, and make sure that calcium doesn't go where we don't want it to go in terms of our, say, blood vessels, in terms of our arteries, the linings and walls of our arteries. So it's a very, very important discussion, and I'll be talking about vitamin K2 MK7. I consider it among the most important products I make and talk about. It's not available in our diet, and unfortunately, it's really not something that other companies have been talking about at all. I've been talking about it for several years. The clinical science and research makes this a critically important decision that we all should make on behalf of the health of our heart, blood vessels, arteries, and I'll talk about it at length. The reviews are also exceptional on it as well. Thanks.
Thank you, Andrew. And he's going to be here live beginning at 11 p.m. tonight with a variety show, followed by full presentations of his Today Specials at midnight. So you can call or visit hsn.com to start ordering now.
I love Jewelry House Pick because it's something that is really personal to me, and we each have a story to tell. Jewelry is just a part of that story. A jewelry item with a message really makes a great gift. Sometimes we can't really put into words how we feel or how much we love or care or cherish someone in our life. Whether it's in the stone, whether it's in the symbol like a rose, I don't think anything could be more personal.
Starts Friday at midnight, and shop the whole collection now at hsn.com.
There's so many things to love about HSN, but one thing that makes shopping here fun is FlexPay. Get it home now without the stress of paying all at once. Why pay full purchase price today when you can pay over time? Buy what you want now, pay it off later with your credit or debit card. FlexPay. It's that easy. Exclusively at HSN.
We love our gemstones to be beautiful, colorful, and durable. That's why we give some of them a little more love. Enhancements may require special care and may not be permanent, while others may last a lifetime. For more information, visit hsn.com and search Gemstone Guide to see our gemstone enhancement chart.
My singular goal is to improve the quality of people's lives. Everything we do is intended to be unlike any other company of our kind. We just make exceptional vitamins so you could have exceptional health. It's not important that you get the products I'm offering, but it's very important that you get the information I'm sharing, because information is the key to being a healthy person.
Welcome to Coin Collector. My name is Helen Keeney, and we're here with our resident numismatist, Mr. Mike Mezek. And Mike, it's been a while since we've done a show together. I'm excited. We've got a lot of brand new things that we've never seen before. We're going to get going right now with our first item. So we've got this hour and next hour with a lot of exciting items.
You and I were talking about this before the show. The last time we sold this was 2013.
A long time ago.
2013. I have 200 notes. What this is this an old silver certificate. So people are familiar with silver certificates. You probably have one laying around there. It usually has a seal here that's blue. You notice this one's brown. You notice this says Hawaii out here on the side. As a matter of fact, I have another note here. The reverse of the note also has Hawaii printed on it. And people are like, okay, what's the deal here? Is this like some souvenir?
Right.
From Hawaii? And it kind of is. When the Japanese attacked Pearl Harbor in 1941, the United States government was concerned about the Japanese overrunning Hawaii, which was U.S. territory at the time. And in essence, seizing all the currency because it used U.S. currency.
Right.
And being able to use that currency to buy weapons that could be used against the United States because U.S. currency was kind of the currency of the world. So they solved that problem by July of the next year by only printing and distributing in Hawaii notes that had a brown seal that said Hawaii on them. So that if the Japanese actually overran the island of Hawaii, they would basically end these in terms of legal tender. They would no longer be legal tender, and they would be 100% worthless.
So they just make an announcement.
They just make it, to the world, saying, we will not honor these. Because you have to understand, in a silver certificate, for every dollar, there was actually a silver dollar in the Treasury of the United States for each and every one of these. And they said, we will not honor these if these get overrun. So these were only used in the 1940s during World War II and only used in Hawaii. These are the original notes that have lived through that thing that people put away that says Hawaii on here. So this note was basically used in Hawaii from 1942 to 1945.
And it looks beautiful because you think about all the years, you know, where currency doesn't, you know, can't stand the test of time. These look gorgeous.
Yeah, it's absolutely unbelievable. So we haven't done this in five years, okay? 2013. I have 200 notes. Is all that I have. They are 100% authentic. They come with a certificate of authenticity. They come with you and tell you all about the Hawaii note, that these were made specifically only in basically 1942. They were made in Hawaii is all that they were done, and they were only available and used in Hawaii for those 3 years. Then after the war, they were all taken back by the United States government and replaced with regular silver certificates with the blue seal. So this is literally part and parcel of the entire United States war effort for World War II. Right. And so these notes now are, like, as you said, they're in amazing conditions. They are 70 years old. They are 70 years old is what we're looking at. We had these, and we have a price break on these. We originally sold them 5 years ago at $149. We've occasionally had them on HSN.com. I finally have got enough of these. I had 200 notes. And understand, folks, I have about that many people on the phone. They're almost impossible to get in this condition, okay? In this condition for this price. They are 100% authentic. They're not reprinted, restruck, or redone in any way, shape, or form. And like I said, only used in Hawaii. So the United States government, to keep U.S. currency from falling into enemy hands.
Yeah, amazing.
They made this special and used this special plan so that they did this brown seal so that if they weren't, you know, if Hawaii did get overrun, that these notes would no longer be legal tender and would be this incredible way to keep our currency from falling in the hands of the wrong people. But our economy in Hawaii just kept going on. That was just going to continue to do it. So it didn't affect the economy. It was a brilliant plan. It was a fantastic,
great piece of history. Great story for you to have.
Great
also on FlexPay, I want to mention $46.46 to get home. When we can do FlexPay in our coin toes, we do them. They're very rare. The item number is 463158, and we don't have a lot of these. We're going to keep you posted when we sell out of things. But with all the people on the line, Mike, I don't know how much longer that's going to last. But and I've been doing coin shows with you for 10 years. I've never seen that before. Very exciting. So we're going to continue on with the World War II yellow seal North Africa $1 bill, also on a price break, also on 3 FlexPay, just $46.65 to get home.
Now, this is the same silver certificate. The United States servicemen, when they fought abroad, used U.S. money because everybody takes U.S. currency. They were worried about the same thing in North Africa that they were worried about. So when General Patton was in North Africa, when we paid the troops, we again paid them in money with the yellow seal that you're going to have right on it. And this one was just yellow seal. So this was the North Africa. They were only issued in the North African theater of engagement because they were worried about General Rommel overrunning the U.S. troops and grabbing our payroll, so this way we could also demonetize the notes that our U.S.
But they
troops
never did demonetize.
They never had to. We were never overrun.
Right.
But once again, better safe than sorry.
Yeah. You know, I never knew that they did that ever. I don't think we've ever.
Because when our troops were there, they used money.
Right.
You know, they used money in lots of different places. They used money in local locales, and the U.S. currency was good everywhere.
If it's confiscated, we would just say, like, nope.
Yes, and that's exactly right. Because if you look at this, it's a silver certificate. Read down here what it says. And it says, if you go there, $1 in silver payable to the bearer on demand. And right up here it says, this certifies that in the treasury of there is a deposit in the treasury of the United States of America, $1 in silver. And if we decided to demonetize the yellow seals, because the regular silver certificate had blue seals, then we would just say, no yellow seal dollars are redeemable for silver. No yellow seal dollars are redeemable. Oh, there's a great shot right there. And we can show you that that's the North Africa. So that was the North African theater of engagement that used these bills as well. In all honesty, the North Africa bills are a little bit rarer because they were really only used by servicemen. At the time in North Africa, whereas the Hawaii notes were a little more widely used, particularly
so was this bill actually in the pocket of a serviceman in North Africa?
Could have been. You can see a slight fold in there.
Yeah, I was going to say, but it's in amazing condition.
Yeah, absolutely. And I want to take this out so you can see it. And you have to understand that the bills back then were made with a little different paper. There's a little more clay used in the paper. So you can see there's like it
looks greener, too.
It is greener because of the way that the dye took on that type of paper. Yeah,
because all of a sudden it looks like a different, I mean, it looks
very much differently. It looks much darker in hue. And then you have, that is the key right there, is that yellow seal that was only available, and like I said, in that World War II. Once again, this only available and only used in 1942. Now, the Series 1935, they do different series of note until they change the design or change the treasurer or one of the signatures.
That's the series of the design.
That's the series of the design. So they made Series 1935 notes all the way through to, I think, 45 was the next design change at the end of the war. But this note was made in the 1940s.
Yeah. So no one would really know what that yellow meant unless you were like we knew, but we didn't tell them. Hey, listen, we've got our finger on the pulse of what's happening with this. Really cool. So keep shopping for that. 338-747. Price break $10 off. 3 flex pay $46.65. And as you know, who've been shopping here with Mike Mezak and HSN for coins for all these many decades, that we ship with the first flex payment and then you pay it off over time. And we're going to continue on with our next item, which is the XF, which is the condition from NGC, which is the grading company. The Emperor Constantine I Roman Empire bronze coin, $99.95. Mike, I feel like this whole show is full of things that I've never seen.
This is an actual Emperor Constantine Roman bronze.
Amazing.
Made while he was alive and used to pay Roman troops in about 310 AD. So this coin is about 1,700 years old.
Oh my,
it is 100% original. I've only got about 13 dozen of these. I have 133. 43 of them already spoken for.
Right.
Okay.
Just they saw your name on the program guide.
That's right.
They already looked it up.
So this is Emperor Constantine. There's only 133 left. Let me explain to you why he's important. You may have heard of him. He had a city named after him, Constantinople.
Yes.
He is the first Christian emperor of the Roman Empire. Right there. He brought Christianity to the Roman Empire. This is his coin. This is his actual coin. This is not reprinted. This is not restruck. This is not redone. And this is certified. And I have to impress upon you how critically important it is for you to buy ancient coins that are certified by one of the 3 major auction houses, okay? They have to be, or not auction houses, but certification houses. So NGC, PCGS, or Annex. Those are the only people, because the vast majority of all of the ancient Roman coins that are out there in the marketplace are counterfeits. They are not real. This is not only guaranteed to be real, but look at the condition. Every one of these coins individually hand-struck. Every one of them individually hand-struck, and this is 1,700 years old. And the way we have this, people always ask me, how do you have this coin? It was a Roman payroll coin. And what the Romans would do before they'd go into battle is they would bury the payroll of the army. In case they were overrun. A theme here.
There's a lot of people being overrun.
They're overrunning and wanting the money.
Right.
And if they lost, then they didn't get paid, and the money oftentimes just stayed buried.
Right.
And several of these payroll hoards were found recently, and look at this particular coin. Now, I've only got, like I said, I've only got about 10 dozen of these remaining. These are 100% original. It is certified authentic. It comes with a certificate of authenticity. I want to very quickly flip over and show the reverse of this too. The condition on these is absolutely spectacular. Every single one individually hand-struck. Now, as Constantine I, or Constantine the Great.
This is going fast, Mike.
Yes. Okay. yes. That will sell out. There's no doubt. He, of course, had a son, Constantine II, who was the Roman emperor after him, or a Roman emperor. This is Constantine II. I've got 6 dozen of these.
Yeah, these are already going from before we even got to it.
20 of these already gone. And here's the amazing part. These are 1,700-year-old coins. They're 100% original, they're 100% authentic, and they are $99.95. You can't take your family to go see a movie about Roman history for $99 if you buy popcorn and soft drinks, okay? Because I take my kids and it's like, it's insane how much it costs. Yeah, don't get me started.
We should invest in popcorn.
Yes, that's right. This coin is 100% original, so you can actually own a piece of Roman history.
Amazing.
You can actually own a piece. So this is Constantine II. So, of course, Constantine the Great, who was his father, started the House of Constantine. Is what it was. And of course, he's going very quickly. I've got, like I said, fewer than 6 dozen of these remaining. And once again, they're all kind of individually, so the reverse is slightly different. And they've got, look at that, got all kinds of shields and things on it.
It's
individually
beautiful.
hand-struck.
Yeah.
And understand what individual hand-striking means. A guy puts a piece of bronze, this isn't copper, it's bronze, on a stone.
And then like a mallet?
No, he holds a die, and then a guy takes a big, huge, massive sledgehammer and hits the die and makes the coin. And hopefully doesn't
hit the guy's arm.
Hit the guy's arm and literally break his arm off.
Oh my gosh. Well, half the quantity, I mean, I don't even know what to say. I feel like this is going to go.
That's Constantine II.
We should move on.
We will continue to go on. In the House of Constantine, okay, this is the 4th and youngest son of Constantine the Great right here, which is, as you can see, he is Constans, okay, $99.95 yet again.
3 flex pay.
He was also on the way. So he was Constans. So that is that is absolutely incredible. Check this out. I have 100 of these. So we're giving you the opportunity to, in essence, buy the entire House of Constantine. I have one more remaining behind this, Constantius II, which we're coming in right here. And it gives you, so if we flip this over, there's all your history that you're going to have right there that you need for all of this. It tells you everything about Constans, okay? And here's Constantius II. Okay, there you go, from the House of Constantine. I'm going to flip this over. If we can get up there, let's just take a look. So Constantius II was Fasta's middle son, okay, who was part of the House of Constantine. As you can see, he was ruthlessly efficient, so on and so forth. This is part and parcel of history. So while I was able to get a massive quantity of these, it amounts to basically 100 of each coin.
Yeah.
So imagine, and the thing that people always ask me, okay, so these are reprints. These are things that are representative of the original coins. This is the actual coin.
Right,
This coin was probably made somewhere around 353, let's call it, right there.
I don't think
AD.
You'd even be interested in anything restruck or I mean...
No, we don't do those.
You don't even do those kind of things.
Yeah, we don't do those kind of things. We sell real coins here.
Yeah.
Other people, kind of traffic in fakes and forgeries and
How many years have you been in this business, Mike?
Oh, I've been in this business since I was 12, so that's 40-something years. Okay.
So, I mean, trust is something that is crucial when purchasing coins, and especially something like this.
Right. And understand, the vast majority of all of the ancient coins in the marketplace today are fake, okay, period. When they are certified, there is an entire division at NGC, the Numismatic Guarantee Corporation. If we look right up here, folks, where it says the Ancient Division, these are some of the most scholarly, amazing men and women you have ever met in your life. Their entire world is not only Roman history, but the coins that accompany that.
And how many of them are there in the U.S.?
In the U.S., 8 maybe?
Right, that's what I'm saying.
Between all the grading companies, not in NGC, I think there's 2, PCGS there's 2, Annex, so maybe more like 6.
In the United States, there's 6 people that are qualified to
certify these coins.
And one of those 8 people certified every single one of these coins. That's a big deal.
Not only by authenticity, which is crucial, but by grade as well. Every one of these, a minimum of extra fine condition. We'll let you know when these sell out, and they are quite likely to sell out.
Oh, yeah. So the item number is on your screen. It's 582-171. So we're going to keep you posted. A lot of these are going to go. So we're going to continue on 2018. Sacagawea and Native American golden dollars. These are always popular. And I was going to say, I know that these sell out, and I'm always after the show, can we get these back? And you're like, someday. So 608-895. We've got 3 flex. I love that we have all this flex pay. $33.32 for you to get the whole collection. This isn't just one. You're not picking one. You're getting the whole collection.
United States government, this is 2000 through 2018, folks. This is pretty spectacular. This is 20 coins, okay? And I know it's 2000 through 2018, but the way it works, there's 20 coins here, because there's 19 coins in the collection, and I put one of the reverses up here so that you could see it.
Okay.
So there's 19 coins that go from 2000 to 2018. The Sacagawea golden dollar, which was started in the year 2000, you could see right there, the very first woman that was ever depicted on an American coin. And you're going to have that in 2000 and in 2001 and 2002. You're going to have every single solitary one of them, and they made these for 10 years. At the end of the 10-year run, they started making what were called the Native American dollars, okay? And in the Native American dollars, Sacagawea was still on the front. So she's on all 20 of these dollars. But what they did is they started doing, instead of having this reverse like they did for the first 10 years, they did a rotating design that honors a specific American Indian tribe, starting, as you can see, right here. Starting right here, I believe that's 2011, with the very first Native American dollar. And as you go through that, you're going to have that, and you can see what each and every one of the tribes are right there that are honored in the Native American dollar. They are made for 1 year. So this coin, made in 2011 and 2011 only, 2012 and 2012 only, 2013, 2013 only is when they're made. This is an absolutely complete 2000 to 2018 year set of brilliant uncirculated Sacagawea golden dollars and Native American dollars. Every single solitary one of them is a sold out limited edition. Now here's the key to this. $5 per coin. $5 per coin.
That's how much they sell for?
No, that's how much we're selling them for. They sell for a lot more than that. That's what I'm going to go look in the catalog here. I got a big nationally advertised catalog.
Oh, okay.
And if you look at these, if you start about, any of the Native American dollars. So you go look at the 2008s, the cheapest one there is $13.75. The 2006 is $12.50, $11.50. 2004, $16.95. The 2003, $16.95. The 2002's we're $5 a coin.
Right, and shipping is one. You ship to all of them. them. Each one of these have to be shipped
every single
separately.
solitary one of them.
Yeah.
That's right. I mean, even the 2012, the trade routes, one of them, the diplomacy, 2011 diplomacy, they don't even have it. They don't even have it available in their set right here. The lowest price they have for any single solitary one of these is $6.95.
You're still below that.
We are $5, and they go from $6.95 to $16.95 a coin. Let's average those at $10 a coin, and I think that's very, very fair. Many of them are over that. For 20 coins,
right.
That's not $99.95. So this is the first time I have really been able to do this. There are many of these coins that are extraordinarily difficult to get. The 2003s, 2004s, because what happened is the United States government stopped releasing these into circulation.
Yeah.
So they made them, but they did not sell, so you can't get them at the bank or the post office or anywhere in the general. So let's go down here, for instance, all the way down. This is the brand new 2018. You even know this coin's been out here? That honors Jim Thorpe.
Yeah, right there.
That order, look at that. That's the Jim Thorpe coin. We go backwards from there. And these are extremely, and so this is the very first time.
My favorite thing that you do is you do the collecting for us, because you know all the people. We might on our own be able to get some of these, but not all of these. But you're able to get, and when you get all of them, you give it to us all in this beautiful, like, box, case, everything.
So it's not just Indian tribes, it's Indian achievement.
Right.
So there you're gonna have Sequoia right there, the first written language in America.
Look at
so you
that.
have Jim Thorpe, you have Sequoia. Go back one more.
Famous
That's
athletes.
something that's a little more famous. The Code Talkers, the Navajo.
Yes, there's a
Code
movie about
Talkers.
that.
There's a huge movie about that.
Yeah.
That was the coin that honored the Navajo Code Talkers
Very
there
cool, yeah.
from World War I and World War II. If you go behind that, then you have the iron workers that helped build the skyscrapers in New York and Chicago. It was primarily Native Americans that did that because they seemed to be unaffected by heights.
Interesting.
And so that's why they do that. So you go all the way on back. Look at every single one of these. So you're honoring trade routes. You're honoring all these things. You're honoring specific. There's the Delaware tribe that you have right there. You go on back. There's the Plains Indians. And that is a specific 1 year only issue that is a complete and total 100% sellout. Every one of these absolutely, positively brilliant, uncirculated for the entire collection. Every coin original, gem brilliant uncirculated in its own individual airtight holder. By the by, folks, 59 cents a piece for those. 13 bucks. There's almost $25 in packaging here.
Yeah.
So you're basically getting the 20 brilliant uncirculated Sacagawea golden dollars for basically what amounts to $75.
And each one of them is in a protective case.
Sure, that's 59 cents. That's an airtight acrylic holder that you have right there.
I want to mention that because that keeps it nice for your collection, and everything's done for you. Again, you've got the, I mean, I know you know a guy. Every time you bring something in, you're like, oh, I know that guy. I know this guy. There's not a lot of people that have all the connections that you do. You are doing the collecting for us. $33.32 for you to get home the entire collection. We've got so many more goodies for you, including the 1999 to 2009 Proof S Mint, San Francisco Mint, all the Proof state quarters. Now, we're doing a fairly substantial price break on this. It was almost $200. Now it's $149.50. Under $150, and we're doing 4 flex pay. So $37.49. The item number is 541286. And is this the original government packaging, Mike?
It sure is.
Okay, because I always feel that adds another dimension to it. I love all the history and the original government packaging, and because I know a lot of people crack these open, right?
Oh, yeah, goodness. Because, we can take these and crack these open, put them in a red oak presentation box, and I think we've sold, I sold about 5,000 or 6,000 of them for $449.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Of course, you can go to hsn.com, buy the red oak presentation box for $49.95, so, and take your own hammer out, I guess.
Yeah, or don't.
Or don't.
Or don't, yeah.
One of the great programs in the history of the United States government was the United States State Quarters. After about 1991 or 2, the U.S. coin collecting business was kind of dead. It was moribund. I mean, you penny, nickel, dime, quarter, half. There you go. Every year, the government didn't do much. An occasional, commemorative dollar, but there was nothing exciting. In 1999, the United States government decides to commemorate every single state in the Union on the back of the venerable Washington quarter. It is the most popularly collected coin program in the history of American and worldwide numismatics, bar none. 150 million Americans consider themselves to be coin collectors because of this collection. Those are statistics from the U.S. government.
Interesting.
And of course, I think we all did the thing, go into the bank and get the Pennsylvania, Delaware, Georgia, you know,
right.
and get them in the order of statehood and on all of that. But what most of us, the vast majority of those 150 million collectors, were not able to do is to get the presentation coins that were made by the United States government. These coins right here. These are the proof coins that were only available in these original United States government issue packages. They were made only at the San Francisco Mint, and not a single solitary one of these coins was ever made, intended, or released into circulation. They are available exclusively and only in this United States original government packaging. Now, here's the deal that we have with the price break. Here's the thing that I like, that I am so excited about.
It's $50 off.
Yeah, it's $50 off. And by getting the $50 off in there, you know what I really get to do, and which is why 30 of these have already sold? I'm selling these to you for less than the original government issue price.
Wow.
With shipping and handling, the United States government sold these for $20 a set. So that was $220 originally from the United States government in the original government packages. We include not only the 50 state quarters, but also the 6 territorial quarters that are right down here.
I've never heard you say that, but we've never had a $50 price break.
Yeah, that's right. We've never had a $50 price break. So these are selling for less than the original government issue price. Now, here's the reason that you rarely see these, and why I'm so proud to be able to do this. And by the way, people are saying, okay, they come in the lenses, what do I put them in? There's a box over there that holds the proof sets. That you see right there. The United States government has a similar box. If I may, let me get over here and show you. Look at that beautiful, seal that you have right there. I think they sell it for $14.95. We included it at no additional cost or charge. So their price would have been $220 a set. $234.95 is what you would have paid for this from the United States government. We are literally now, at this point, we are $100 less than the original government issue price.
I'm always mesmerized by how quickly you can do math in your head. That always impresses me.
It's just one of those things.
I know. And I know you're really doing it in your head. It's pretty crazy.
The other incredible part is most people don't do that. And you don't see them this way, and here's why. You get to buy these like a coin dealer. And people always ask, what do you mean by that? And I said, well, because what happens is, and what I have, this is a big national average. When I was a paper boy, when I was 12 years old, I ordered out of this catalog. Okay, that's how long they've been around.
I know that story. That's exciting that you.
So they take one of these right here that we're charging you basically with the box price $12 for.
Right.
They take that and they break them open. And in this nationally advertised catalog, they're going to go ahead and charge you $6.95 a piece for those coins.
For each coin.
That's $42 that we're charging you $12 for. That's the last year of issue. That's the territories. Let's go to the last year of issue of the state quarters. Same thing, you're paying about $12. They break this open, and you know what they sell this coin by coin? Are you ready for this? This is my favorite. 1850, 1850, 1850, 1850, and $25.
It's like the price of the whole set.
It's $100.
Oh my gosh.
You take this and this, you got the price of all 11 sets in the box that we're selling you. That's why this is one of the single most popular things that we sell when I have them and I have quantity. Here is the problem. I normally have 500, 600, 700. I sell it every month or 2 months or 3 months whenever I can talk coin dealers into selling me these for less than they're actually worth.
Right.
Let's say when a brand new coin comes out and they have to have cash.
Right.
Well, I get the new coins and I get these.
Right.
Okay, because that's one of the things that we bring to you, the ability to buy every single great coin deal in the marketplace today, and that's why I can bring this to you, and that's why this is so incredible. So when you look at this being $150 coin by coin down here, and you go, what's the other stuff worth? A quarter?
Right.
Well, the 1999s, what do you got those? The 1999s are going to be $5.50 a piece. So that's another $27.50, okay? And $5.50 a piece, another $27.50, and $4.50 a piece. That's a mere $20 extra right there. The 2002s, $6.50 a piece. The 2003s are $4.50. The 2004s, $5.50. You get what I'm talking about. I mean, we're talking about the lowest price is basically $5 a coin.
And for me, and I know value sometimes is perceived, but I perceive a higher value when they're in the original government packaging before they're cracked open.
I would agree 100%.
Okay.
And we're charging about $2 a coin.
Yeah.
When you count the box,
because we're in the original government packaging.
That's right.
Not less.
So instead of $5, their lowest price, and their average price, and I did the math on this. What's the average price? Is about $7 and something a coin. They're a little over that, as a matter of fact. Actually, it's about $9 a coin. We're more like $2 a coin because you get 56 coins here. So you get to buy like a coin dealer, and every single solitary one of them fits right in there, just like that, so that you have the opportunity right there to own these. Now, do not confuse these. This is not something I put together.
Right.
Well, a lot of people put, stake quarters in lenses. This is the original government packaging. Right. There is the United States government treasury seal. This set sold out in 1999. Sold out in 1999. I have sold this set in the past by itself for $100. All day long, sold thousands of them. Sold thousands of these at $100 a piece in 1999 after they sold out. The 2001s, I've sold that set at $50, $60, $70. What I've been able to do is get an opportunity to get this, because, they ended in 2009. So what happened is people lost a little bit of interest until you can buy it for less than the original government issue price and go, okay, finally I get my set. It might be, it might be a day late, but I'm certainly not $1 short when I'm saving literally hundreds of dollars over the coin by coin price, and you get the free presentation box at no additional cost or charge. Absolutely, positively. Look at that, silver stamped. As you can see, that's a silver foil stamp that we've got on that you're going to do that. You flip that down, every single one of them, they fit into a slot that is angled so you can see the front and the back. Every one of these coins, remember, is one of the San Francisco minted coins. All the coins that went into circulation were Philadelphia or Denver. These are presentation coins that only come in these sets. It is the only way to get them is in this original. The government charged $20 for this set originally. We're like $12 a set across the board, less than the government charge. Remember, coin by coin, these two sets down here, sold individually, purchased individually, you're looking at it right at the $149. Between that and the box, you're over $149.95. I insist you take the other 9 sets.
There you go. There you go. And $50 off today. The item number is 541286 if you would like to add this to your collection. And you're going to get, of course, the box included. Now, coming up, 2015 MS69 ICG Philadelphia Mint Silver Eagle Dollar at $379.95. Item number 612-893. So, box included, and ICG is the grading company. And that's one of the things that, Mike and I will always talk about is the grading company and, making sure it's authentic, and you can see the ICG on here and the condition and minted in Philadelphia, all the details, and how many are even in the mintage on this one?
Well, this is an extraordinarily important coin. An extraordinarily important coin, okay? The United States government, in 2008, when silver demand went sky high, went through the roof, went beyond everything that there is, okay? Started needing help. The West Point Mint has made the American Silver Eagle for decades. So they started needing help from the San Francisco Mint starting in 2011, 12, 13, and 14. They made special San Francisco minted supplemental boxes. They didn't put a mint mark on them, but what they did do is they put a special strap. What I have here is an original United States Mint box. This is a box of 500 Silver Eagles. This one would have been from 2017. It says United States Mint, and they have straps on them. In 2011, 12, 13, and 14, they had yellow straps that said San Francisco Mint. So we could certify the coins and say they were supplemental minted coins from the San Francisco Mint, even though they didn't have a mint mark. They were extremely, extremely collectible, desirable, and valuable. They made several million of them, but they made 40 or 50 million in the West Point coins, so the San Franciscos were very desirable. The government said we stopped doing that in 2014. In 2017, an intrepid numismatic journalist, and I too knew no such person existed until 2017, asked the United States Mint, through the Freedom of Information Act, by the by, have you been making additional American Silver Eagles at either the Philadelphia, San Francisco, or Denver Mint? And of course, Freedom of Information Act, they have to answer to the affirmative. And they said, as a matter of fact, we have.
We haven't told anybody, but we
haven't told anybody.
Right, I know this story.
That's right, we haven't told anybody. We've secretly been making them since 2015. In 2015, they did the Philadelphia Mint. 2016, Philadelphia and San Francisco. But in Philadelphia in 2015, they made a test run of these coins. They made 79,640 of these coins. And folks, what that makes this is the rarest American Silver Eagle ever made by the United States government, mint state condition.
Amazing.
And as a matter of fact, when you take into account how many of these exist, this is by far and away the rarest American Silver Eagle ever made by the United States. Now, there are many, 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 many Silver Eagles I can sell you for far more than $379. But none of them even begin to approach the rarity of this. Because what had to happen, we didn't find this out until 2017. By then, remember I was telling you about the boxes that had to have the seals on them? And they're individually numbered too. Let me put this up here. So they asked the box number. So we knew the boxes that they made at Philadelphia. There's also a ticker tape inside that matches this, so you can't just change the box number. But if the tape, or no, it's not actually tape, it's a seal, it's a fiber seal, is cut, it can no longer be certified from San Francisco or any place else, or Philadelphia, only West Point.
And over the years, weren't you saying that a lot of people cut it and had no idea?
Sure, they had no idea. I did. I cut open what we believe to be somewhere in the neighborhood of about almost 100 of the boxes we cut open. We had a pallet of these. So I'm personally responsible for basically destroying the opportunity for the vast majority of that 79,640 to even be owned. So what it comes down to today, there are fewer than, I believe, 10,000 of these coins in existence.
That's very rare.
The rarest Silver Eagle prior to this was the 1995 W. They made 31,000 of that coin. That coin in this condition we sell between $5,000 and $7,000. After that, you're looking at coins that are $100,000, and those coins are $1,000 or $1,500. This coin holds the record. It is the king of the Silver Eagle. Now here's the big deal, the big part of this. We've already sold 50 of these. Here's the big deal, the biggest part of this. It's simple. This is the lowest price I believe anybody has sold one of these coins for.
Oh my.
Please understand that. We had these in Annex. Customer pick. You can go to hsn.com. I still have some. $599. We sold the couple hundred that we have.
I did some presentations.
We did some of those.
Yeah.
In Mint State 70, I think we sold that coin for $4,499.
Yes, you did.
Okay.
Remember.
We have sold these at $599. The PCGS coins, the NGC coins sell for $600, $700, $800. We were able to get a box that matched the numbers, that had the seal, that had the tag inside. We had it certified. I have only 370 of these remaining that I can do at this price that, in essence, nobody else can do
So
at this
this is
price.
a really affordable way to get in on this story.
Right, and once this goes, that's it, done, gone, and over. There just aren't any more of these boxes. They have, I mean, there was like a treasure hunt. When they found these, anybody that had one of the correctly numbered boxes, it was impossible for people to not look for them. I believe they have all been discovered. I believe they are all in existence. So you have the opportunity, one last solitary time, to own the single rarest American Silver Eagle, America's secret Silver Eagle, the most secret thing. The United States government denied it for years. Then when they had to admit it, they said, oh, it's really no big deal, not to worry.
Imagine that.
Right,
Imagine that story.
Look over there. There's nothing to see here. Nothing to see here. They continue to do it in 2016 and 2017 with the supplemental minted coins. They bring tremendous premiums in the marketplace, but this is the king. All of the other supplemental eagles were made in the millions, okay? 1.1 million to 2.6 million. Nothing at less than 100,000. This is the king of the American Silver Eagles, $379.95.
Item number 612-893. If you would like to pick it up, $379.95. Mike and I have lots more goodies for you in the next hour. We have a whole other hour. I'm going to jump over to hsn.com to show you an item that's available. It's brand new today, and we're going to be doing the final airing of the 2017 limited edition, 1,750 made of the Pirate Skull Palau 99.9% silver $5 coin. It's $199.95. There's actually 4 flex pay on that, so you can get it home for under $50. Under $50. Just to let you know, you can always go to hsn.com because Mike and I are just doing a 2-hour show, and there's so many things, and you know, your real kind of hardcore coin collectors are constantly checking in on .com, right, Mike, to kind of see what you have new coming in and out.
Yeah, we had a couple. We had a couple new things come in, and have some Mint State 70 Silver Eagles, and they sold before we